what's going on, everybody? On today's video, we're going to be covering the step-by-step process on how you can get your first high-ticket client making potentially anywhere between $1,500 and $5,000 per week. There is a lot to go over inside of this training, so buckle up, grab a drink of water, hit pause, and come back with some notes because this is going to be a little bit of our length video here for me. So let's buckle in and jump into it. All right, you guys, so step number one is let's get a better understanding of the landscape. Now, I've done different videos on how high ticket sales works and the landscape and the opportunities that you can go back and take a look at a later time. But I just want to do a quick recap on the landscape when it comes to high ticket sales. See, the digital marketing space has significantly changed over the course of the last 5 years with the introduction of social media and other paid advertising channels. More and more businesses are taking their services online, and it's easier and easier to promote. Now, here's where you come in. The problem when it comes to different businesses, particularly online, is their bottleneck typically has to do with sales. They have a lot of leads, they're generating appointments, but they typically do a very poor job at monetizing all of the people that opt into their funnel. They've got a big email list, and they oftentimes have people that book scheduled calls for them to talk about their services or products that oftentimes don't show up. I can promise you this, there is thousands of dollars inside of all of those leads that their sales organization is not taking advantage of currently. Now, we're talking about a very, very big space. So let me kind of give you an idea of what we're talking about. There's service providers, everything from digital marketing agencies to SEO to funnel building. Anybody that provides a service to a business is marketing and advertising online. The coaching and consulting space is ginormous. And it really boils down to really three core categories: health, wealth, and personal development. And inside of each one of those categories, there are tons and tons of subcategories of businesses that are marketing different services and products. Just as an example, when it comes to health, there's holistic health coaches, there's weight loss training and products, there's leaky gut training coaching. I mean, there's literally a coaching and consulting for just about every little sub niche inside of a big vertical. Wealth, obviously businesses scaling and growing, Amazon funnels, drop shipping. There's tons of different avenues when it comes to generating wealth for individuals or obviously for businesses. And personal development, you've got Tony Robbins or anybody that sells any kind of service or products to help people improve their life. So there's a ton of opportunity when it comes to the coaching and consulting space and even the service provider. So that's kind of the landscape, you guys. I mean, just kind of take a look at platforms like Kajabi, who have grown and raised billions of dollars because more and more business owners are taking their trainings, their content, their information online. So the opportunities are endless, as just kind of a quick recap when it comes to the online marketing space. Now that we have a pretty good idea as far as the landscape, let's take a look at the opportunities when it comes to high ticket sales in general. There's really three categories when it comes to high ticket sales as far as immediate opportunities that you can take advantage of. And a lot of this has to do with your existing background and skill sets. If you come from somewhat of a skill set background, that's obviously going to be an advantage to you. But if you're completely brand new, let's talk about how to transition into high ticket sales to be able to capitalize on some amazing commission opportunities. So once again, there's really three categories. There's appointment setting, there's triage or setting calls, and then there's what's called high ticket closing. So each one of those opportunities, starting with obviously appointment setting, gets better and better from an economic standpoint when it comes to high ticket closers. So let's kind of break each one of these down. So when it comes to appointment setting, listen, anybody that's marketing and advertising online is generating some sort of lead. They're typically generating an opt-in. They're trying to generate appointments. They typically have some sort of social media going on. And the reality is there's typically a database of thousands of people that haven't actually quite booked a scheduled call with the business to have a sales conversation with. And here is the opportunity for you, because it's very, very easy for a business owner that wants to take on a commission appointment setter that can come in, create additional appointments for either the business owner or their sales team in order to be able to generate more income. This is the work that not oftentimes people are willing to do because it takes energy, effort, and skill set. But if you're willing to get in, grind, and actually prove yourself and acquire some experience, this is a phenomenal way for you to actually start out by reaching out to business owners that have a huge database of people that they're not talking to and proving your value by generating appointments. Now, there's some skill sets involved, and we'll cover this. And it's one of the things that I coach inside of my free Facebook group, teaching people how to become appointment setters, or triage calls, and then eventually becoming closers where you can make better commissions. So let's talk about opportunity number 2, which is really what we call triage calls. When a business owner has an online marketing funnel, it typically starts with some sort of appointment. Now, this can go 2 different ways. There can be a 1 or a 2 call closing sales process. If it's a 2-step sales process, typically that's done by a triage, essentially sales rep. And on that call, they're going to go through essentially a 20 to 30 minute conversation to see if the prospect is a good candidate for the business to actually work with. This takes some level of skill set. I would even venture to say that the sell is actually made in the triage set. It's very, very easy to close deals when somebody has actually been talked to appropriately from a triage. They've been postured, positioning to actually speak with a closer that can go through a process and close the deal. So setters obviously get a unique opportunity because they're taking a portion of the sales revenue of what they were able to set to the actual closer. A little bit better of an economic situation than the appointment setter, but still a great way of acquiring skill sets and training to eventually become a closer. Now, when it comes to high ticket closing, once you've actually made your way and you've proven yourself as somebody that knows what they're doing inside of the sales arena, becoming a high ticket closer is a phenomenal opportunity. Business owners that are hiring newer high ticket closers, they'll typically pay anywhere between 10% if you're newer to high ticket sales. But if you've got an uncanny track record and you can come in and create immediate revenue, you're going to get paid anywhere upwards of 10 to 18 to even 20%. So high ticket closers have the ability to command 18 and 20% commissions on products or services that are anywhere between $5,000 and upwards of $20,000, $25,000. They have a pretty unique opportunity to make awesome money. Now, the reason that the business owners are willing to pay that amount of money is because of the fact that they're typically able to generate the appointments, but they can't spend all day back to back on appointments. And they're willing and need to entrust talent that can take those appointments on and actually produce the same or even better results than the business owner was getting while actually taking those closing calls. So that's kind of the hierarchy of how high ticket sales essentially works with the setters, triage, and closers. So step number 3, the question that we have to ask ourselves is, where do we find these jobs? And there is a process to that. So step number 1, when it comes to finding a unique opportunity for yourself, is to start with it inside of an industry that you actually are already familiar with. If you have a little bit of background or a little bit of common experience inside of the space that you want to go into, it's going to have a big impact for you. So for instance, if you got experience and you've gone through coaching or consulting yourself, in life coaching, you may want to start there. If you've hired somebody for fitness coaching before in the past, then you may want to start there. If you've done real estate investing, coaching, or training, or you know that space, you may want to start there. Anything that you have a little bit of experience with can be a huge advantage, bridging the gap inside of the high ticket sales space. First thing that I want you to do is to make a list of things that you actually have experience in when it comes to the high ticket world, based off of some of those categories that I started to get you thinking about. The next step is, once we've actually started to identify what are some of the background or experiences that we have, we want to start by creating a list. Now, one of the easiest ways to be able to create a list of your top Dream 100 type clients is by simply doing some search on who are some of the 2 Comma Club winners inside of ClickFunnels. Go inside a Facebook group, see what Facebook groups, who's actually looking for high ticket sales reps, and start to put together a list inside of an Excel spreadsheet of your ideal people that you would actually like to work with. Now, once we've actually created that list and we have an idea of vertical that we want to work in, now what we want to do is to take more of a logical approach to connecting with these business owners. Don't just start bombarding them with DMs and messages. First one is step number 1, add everybody on social media. Take 1 week of actually engaging, liking some of their posts and content. Simply just go through your list. Hey, this can easily take 45 minutes on a daily basis for a week worth of time. They can see that this person's liking my stuff. There's some engagement, and you're trying to catch the attention of the actual business owner. So the next step is that once we've actually started to engage these business owners on who we want to work with, what we want to be doing while we've actually created that list and reaching out to them. I mentioned this earlier on, is there's so many different Facebook groups. So pick the category in which you actually want to work inside of, that you have some experience in, and go in and do some searches, particularly coaches in the health space or coach consulting in this particular vertical. And you're going to come up with a lot of different groups in which you can actually start to interact with different business owners in the particular space that you're at, and do a search inside of those groups of business owners that are actually looking for setters and closers inside of the group, and start adding those to the group and actually adding them on Facebook as well. Okay, so now that we understand that business owners love hustle and, for heaven's sakes, are more than willing to take on somebody that can come in and make them more money and profit share, for heaven's sakes, with the person that actually generates them additional revenue that they're not currently taking advantage of. Entrepreneurs love other hustlers. So here's what we want to do. Once we've actually created that list, we want to shoot them a short, between a minute and a minute and a half video going over these specific things to capture their attention. Number one, what we want to do is we want to explain to them what we actually love about their business. Listen, entrepreneurs love compliments. They want to hear that the fact that, somebody's reaching out to them is really engaged, and be specific about what you actually like. So as an example, if you're in the health and wellness space, hey, I really love how you're coaching and training people about these specific things. I can tell your clients are getting a major impact by actually working with you. I absolutely love what you're up to. Listen, flattery works. Let's call it what it is. Business owners want to hear the fact that other people appreciate the hard work and energy that they're doing. So step number one is compliment them on what they're doing in their business. Number two, explain to them the purpose of why you're actually reaching out to them and how you can add value. Also recognize that you realize that this video is coming out of the blue, and you're just explaining to them the purpose of why you're reaching out to them. Step number three is explain to them what you're willing to actually do. Explain to them that you're looking for a high ticket sales opportunity, but if you don't have any opportunity inside of your sales team, here's what I'm willing to do. I got to imagine that you have leads or appointments that didn't show up, that are a couple months old, that you're probably not calling on. I'm willing to do whatever to come in and prove to you that I can help you to generate extra income with opportunities or leads that you're not actually working currently. So now that we've explained to them what we're willing to do and the service that we're able to provide for them and how we can help them make more money, we then don't want to come across as obviously desperate or needy. Remember, you guys, you just created a list where you're actively reaching out to other business owners. The reality is you're probably already having to start other conversations, but you want to pick your 2 to 3 that you really want to work with and explain to them, hey, listen, I'm in a couple conversations with other business owners. I would love the opportunity to be able to speak with you over the course of the next couple business days and see if this is the right fit, because I know that I can bring a tremendous amount of value. We want to be able to position the call. Look, good sales is that there's ethical scarcity inside of that process. If you're willing to work hard, there should be a lot of business owners out there lining up to take you on, especially when it's a commission-only opportunity. So you want to make sure that you're not positioning or coming across needy or you're in a desperate situation for a job. Help them to realize that you're actually in the middle of talking to a lot of other businesses, which you are. So now that we have that process, you guys, I wanted to share with you something that I read recently. It was a fantastic book called So Good They Can't Ignore You. I thought it was phenomenal. And the whole precedence of the book is that when people get rid of this idea of following your passion, but actually focus on skill sets that can have a phenomenal income for you, that is when they truly grow and blossom inside of their career. So listen, here's the thing. If you're interested in becoming a high ticket sales rep and you want to double down on getting involved with this industry, look to acquire skill sets and experience. I even run a Facebook group where I train people how to do high ticket sales. I do a tactical Tuesday call and a question and answer every Friday that you're more than welcome to participate in. The link is in the bio below. Come in, join, ask questions. I'd love for you to participate. I'm passionate about helping people to be able to break into this space because there is a ton of opportunity out there. Like always, you guys, I'd appreciate it if you liked it, you smash the follow button. And as always, if you have any comments, post them below, and I'm happy to be able to do additional trainings on these. So I know that was a longer one, but I hope you got a ton of value. We'll talk to you on the next video. Cheers.